we're crooked. We're crooked. I guess it's a little better. Anyway. Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching The Tangled Cat Speaks. So, I finished a book here. Actually, I finished one book, and another book I got about halfway through, and I DNF'd it. So the one that I finished, I didn't even explain anything about what this is about. I'm April. I live just outside of Albuquerque in a city called Rio Rancho, New Mexico. And I read, I knit, I crochet, and sometimes I come on here and I just talk about it. So back to my story. I finished this book. It's a series that I've been collecting forever by Laura Childs. It is a tea shop mystery. This one is the first in the series, called Death by Darjeeling. I am a tea drinker, and the title caught me, and I just started collecting all the books. I think there's like 20 something in the series, and I think there's only one that I don't have yet, but I will get it. This is set in Charleston, South Carolina, and it's a woman who owns a tea shop, and of course this is cozy mystery, so she ends up finding herself in the middle of a murder mystery, and she becomes this amateur sleuth. You know what? I love cozy mysteries. I love amateur sleuth type things, and I love tea. So I finished this book. I really went through this super quick because it's really light, easy reading. Not a whole lot of brain power is needed for it. But I enjoyed it enough to go ahead and grab the second book. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I am trying to really go through all of the physical books that I own, and if I decided that I was going to DNF a book in a series, that I would just go ahead and DNF the whole series. Well, so far I'm going to go ahead and continue on to book 2 in this series. This is Gunpowder Green. I believe most of the books in this series have some sort of title reference to tea names, like flavors. But this one is Gunpowder Green, and if that is an actual tea flavor, I've never heard of it. Sounds delicious. So I'm going to start this one here probably this evening. The book that I DNF'd was Hell House by Richard Matheson. That was a book from, I have my list here of my other challenge that I'm trying to do. Hell House was 1971 when that was published. And I'm sure you've seen dozens of remakes about Hell House, and I've seen them and I enjoyed them, but I did not like this book. I got a little less than halfway and I was just not digging it. I can't even really say why. I just found myself very, very distracted and not really engaged into it whatsoever. So, I've got a lot of books. So thousands actually. So I just decided to go ahead and DNF it. I've already put that one into a little free library. This one will also go into a little free library. I just was waiting to show you the book. So in addition to starting this one, I am also starting another book that I was looking for something small and that I thought might be really quick so that I can get 2 books read at the same time, and very different genres. So this is a science fiction from 1973. It's The Man Who Lived in Inner Space. And this is by Arnold Fetterbush. Now when I saw the word inner space in here, I was thinking I was thinking of that movie from, is it like the late 80s? early 90s maybe, with Martin Short and Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. It's called Inner Space, and oh my gosh, that is one of the most hilarious movies. I love that movie so much. So when I saw this, I was like, it's probably not the same thing, obviously, but I picked it up because it made me think of that movie, and you know, I was happy. But this one is actually an underwater adventure type thing. It even says here part Jules Verne, part Jacques Cousteau, and part Rachel Carson. I don't know Rachel Carson, but the other two names I am familiar with. Um, and I've already started it. I'm about 3 chapters in, and it starts off kind of gloomy and, um, you know, it definitely has a bit of a stance on industrial warehouses and manufacturing sites and plants and all of this that are dumping waste into rivers and polluting the land and the air and everything, the water. And then that's where I'm at now. He just ended up in this big industrial accident at his job, and I'm excited to see how he ends up underwater. But it's really interesting. There are a lot of times where I find some of these older books that, especially science fiction, that I kind of start reading them, and then I'm like, I can't get into it. But this one grabbed me right away. So looking good so far that I can probably finish that one. So that's what I'm doing on the reading. I have been plugging away very, very slowly, with The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. I know I keep forgetting to bring that with me when I set up the camera. It's in my room, and I just slowly plug through that. And actually, I really enjoy it, but it's a big book. So lately, what I've been doing is I went ahead and borrowed the audiobook from my library, and I've been immersive reading it. So I'm reading it with my eyes, but I'm listening to it, but I'm following along with my eyes. So slowly chugging away at that one, and it's not because I don't like that book or because it's too difficult. It's just it's a big book, and there's a lot of information in there. I think I mentioned this before. There's a lot of information about monastery life and the buildings, and how the monks do what the monks do back in, I think it's the 1200s. And I find that very fascinating. I know a lot of people have a hard time with this book because they find that kind of stuff very dry, and it's everywhere in that book amongst the mysterious death that happened. So I'm very much enjoying it, but like I say, it's a big book, and that's one that I really need to pay attention to because there's a lot of, to me, very fascinating information. So that one I'm doing the immersive reading. So I've got 3 books going, and well, no, that's not even true because I have an audiobook that I'm listening to on my commute to work. And this is the second in a series. I think the series is called World Humility. I think it's R.R. Haywood is the author. I'll put it up here. I think that's the name though. The first audiobook that I finished a few weeks ago was World Ship Humility, which is the same name as the series. And then now I'm on the second book, that is called L4 Drop. I think that's what it is. And it is, they're in space. It's, Earth is gone, and these people, a whole bunch of people ended up on this fleet, I guess, of spaceships, and they're trying to find a new habitable planet. And all of these different ships are kind of like countries. But they're all kind of tethered together, so they're flying as one big thing. And the first book kind of revolved around this girl. She's a thief, shoplifter, and she's trying to find a way to make a big heist so that she can get enough money. They call it credits, but money to get off of the ship that she's on, because she comes from like the poor section, the ghetto section, so to speak. And she's trying to get out of that. She wants to get enough credits to go to another ship and just live a normal life and leave that behind. And she comes across this hacker, and he kind of is smitten with her. So he's helping her in her shenanigans, and it ends up being more, they're falling into some political things. So now in the second book, there's some political things going on because there's uprisings between the different ships. They think that there's some information that the main ship and government are not telling them about finding another planet. There's something going on, but there's all of this political kind of stuff. So while it is set in space, it's more I don't know the word, kind of like a the powerful versus the meek, and the rich versus the poor, and stuff like that. And just a lot of political stuff, but it's done in such a way that it's funny, it's exciting, it's you're really invested in these characters, and it's not dry, and it's not just like loading you down with political stuff, but it's definitely there. And the reason why I picked up this series in the first place is because it's being narrated by Colin Morgan. Colin Morgan is a Northern Irish actor who I first heard about from the TV series Merlin, that I was obsessed with when I first saw it. I think I've watched that entire series at least 6 times. But I think that Colin Morgan is a really outstanding actor, and he also does quite a few audiobooks. So whenever I find one that he's narrated, I'm all about it. I'm going to listen to it. He's very, very good with different accents, but I especially love his normal Northern Irish accent. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. That he was the draw for me. And then the fact that it is science fiction, I was excited about it. So, and I'm having a really good time with it. I am probably about a quarter through the second book. There is a third book, and I'll probably go right into that one as soon as I'm done with this. Very much having a good time with that. So, how about some yarny stuff? I mentioned last time that I was working on the Counterpoint shawl by Ilga Leja. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Using 13 mini skeins that I got from Helen and Mary Beth from Toad Hollow. And there are 12 short row triangles, and I think I'm on like 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I'm on the 9th one. I have 3 colors left, but look at how fun all of these triangles are turning out. So fun. And these are all colors based off of the game board Clue. This is Peacock right now. And then I've got 3 colors left. Let's see. The next one I think I'm doing is Mrs. White. Mrs. White was one of my Mrs. Peacock is actually my favorite from the movie with Eileen Brennan. She's so over the top, it's hilarious. But my second favorite character is Mrs. White, done by Madeline Kahn. And this is the color that Toad Hollow came up with for her character. And then after that one is the Billiards Room. And this is that color. It's like a very pale foresty green, but very, very pale. It's not mint. But then there's these little dark bits, dark brown in here. Very pretty. That's the Billiards Room. And then the last color will be Professor Plum. And lo and behold, it's a plum color. Yeah, so I am almost done, and then I'm going to block it, and then I'm going to reblock the other one that I had done a few years ago with the same pattern, also with Toad Hollow colors. I'm going to reblock that one, and then hopefully I will be able to show you a side by side of the two. So I'm super excited about that. This one is really, really fun to work on because of the short rows. It just keeps it very interesting, but the stitch combinations are not very difficult at all. It's just, you just have to pay attention because of the short rows. But I find that it goes much faster for some reason than working full rows. I don't know why, but I'm enjoying it. Very, very, very excited. And then the person that I am, decided that I wanted to start something new. I have been getting into anime, and I just started another one. I got caught up with one called Solo Leveling. My son recommends these for me. He definitely tells me, before you watch anything, get with me first, because some of these are definitely not up your alley. You won't like them. I know what you like and don't like. Get with me before you start a new one. So we've been kind of going with that, and he had recommended Solo Leveling. I'm caught up with that. I think there's a new episode that's supposed to be coming out soon. But in the meantime, I started another anime he recommended called Jujutsu Kaisen. And these do have English dubbing, but I find that I prefer the original language, and I think in this particular case it's Japanese. I like listening to the Japanese and reading the subtitles, because for some reason it just sounds like you get the more of the emotion and everything in the original language. That doesn't always translate very well when they do the English dubbing. Sometimes the emotion isn't quite there. So I started Jujutsu Kaisen. I think I'm about maybe 6 episodes in. Oh my god, this one is violent, but there's a lot of action and there's a good story. But my goodness, I'm just like, wow. And my son is right, I am enjoying this one, but because I have to read subtitles, well, I don't have to, I'm choosing to read subtitles, I decided I was going to do a crochet shawl that I don't have to look at very much. And that would be one of the patterns that I can do without looking is a C to C, or corner to corner shawl, or corner to corner stitch. It's a box stitch basically, that's one row slants this way, the other row slants this way, and I can do this with almost not looking at all. And I had this cotton that I had gotten a while back. What is the brand? I don't know. I guess that is the brand. Big Twist Cotton. And I have 3 of these bright pink, bubblegum pink. And there were 2 of this more salmon-like color. Do they actually have names, or is it just numbers? Oh my god, I'm blind. No, this is Coral Splash. And this one is Flamingo Splash. And I'm assuming this is also a splash, but I don't know because I don't have the label anymore. And it's this orange color. It looks like a dreamsicle, honestly, and now I want ice cream. I haven't had a dreamsicle in ages, and it just sounds so good now that I thought about it. So because this is a bottom up and the rows are going to get longer and longer as I go to the top, I put the one ball of the orange at the bottom so that you can see it really well. Because the rows are small, you're going to see more width or length this way. And then the next, see, I'm already almost done with the first ball of the coral. And you can see that it's not as wide as the orange because the rows are getting longer this way. So I'm going to do the second coral, and then the 3 flamingo is going to go at the very top. And it's just a block. I'm just blocking, just blocks of color. But I like that they're semi-solid so that there is some variegation in the color. I'm really enjoying that. But I'm just just winging it. Now this yarn calls for, oh, Lord in heaven, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put on my old lady readers. Hold on. Oh, let's see. It calls for an I crochet hook, which is the 5.5 millimeter, and that is what I'm using. I thought about, this is my boy hooks. I thought about, was that upside down? It was totally upside down. Now I can get it. There you go. I thought about going down to an H because I do know that I crochet loose, and usually I'll go down a size. So usually if it recommends an I, I'll go down to an H. Sometimes I'll even go down 2 depending on I have like a piece of hair just stuck to my lip. Sometimes I'll even go down 2 crochet hooks to get the right gauge, but because I wanted this to be a shawl and I'm limited on the yardage, I thought it would work out better if I make it a little looser, and I probably could have gone to a J and made it even a little more open, but I like this. I like how it looks. I like the feel of it, and it's probably once I wash it, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and hang it, and the weight of it will open it up some more. It's cotton, so it's probably going to bounce back a little more, but the stitches will open up a little bit. It's not quite like blocking wool, but it'll definitely, the weight of it will definitely pull a little. So I'm excited to see how it opens up when I'm done and have a nice little bright shawl. So I went ahead and kept the recommended hook size because I do know that I crochet loosely and I wanted a more open fabric. So that's all I'm working on. I have some, hold on. I have this. I bought this on a whim. I don't know what to do with it. Cozy, chunky alpaca. I might end up making another scarf. I think right now I'm in like scarf and easy shawl phases, but this is Ella Ray Cozy Alpaca Chunky. I got this a few months ago, and I pulled it out because it was just staring at me, and I got 2 of them. I just picked it up. I didn't have any plans for it, and now I'm kind of trying to decide what I would like to do with it, but it's not anything pressing, but I pulled it out because it has been calling to me from the shelves. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. Maybe not anytime soon, maybe tomorrow, who knows? But I'm feeling the vibe coming from it, so maybe something will come of it. But that is all I have going on right now. Hopefully next time I will have a completed counterpoint shawl, and I will have a completed cotton crochet shawl and a few more books to update you on. I do thank you for coming and spending a little bit of time with me while I ramble on with no clear sense of direction. I am getting ready to go see a movie in a little while. I invited my sons. We'll see if they have time to come join me. But it's an underwater movie. It's called Last Breath, and I know that it has, is his name Simu Liu? And Woody Harrelson, and it's kind of a underwater disaster kind of thing. So I'm excited to see that. I haven't been to the theater in quite a while, and I felt in the mood today, so that's what I'm gonna do. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and today is March 2nd, so I hope you all have a wonderful spring, and we'll see you next time. Bye.